Welcome to Larry's Library. And since it's the first Tuesday of a new month, it's time for Top 10 Tuesday. And this month, I'm taking a look at the top 10 books that my daughter made me read. Yep, it happens. Kristan, some of you know her as the Comic Slayer, some as OmniCat. She makes me read stuff. And how does she do that, you might ask? Well, she's very generous. And she buys me a lot of books for Christmas and birthdays and other reasons sometimes. And she likes to buy me things that I wouldn't necessarily buy myself, something that she thinks I will like, but I would probably never read, or I would probably never buy it myself if it was up to me. Now, not always. She has bought me things that I've asked for before, but she really likes making me try something new because she knows if she gifts it to me, I'm going to read it. So that's just how it works. And one of the things she likes to do is a lot of times she'll buy me soft covers, things that are only available as a soft cover, because she knows that I have this kind of rule that I feel like life is too short. I've covered this in a lot of my other videos, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but I'm not going to purposely buy something that's not a hardcover. I know that lets me out of a lot of material, but look at the plethora of material. Look at the giant, enormous amount of hardcovers that are out there of great material. So I figure, well, why not focus on those? Yeah. But anyway, we could argue about that ad nauseum. But so she will buy me things often. A lot of times they're indie things or maybe even manga and different things like that. But for the sake of this top 10, what I decided to do was pick out my top 10 favorites at the moment, and this is very much subject to change, as you do. But this is the criteria was only books that I would not have, that I didn't ask for, and that I wouldn't have normally bought on my own. Now, some of these are a hard sell, and some are not, but we'll get into it. All right, we'll just start right off. Number 10, I've got Claws. Now, this is by Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. Now, this one would not be necessarily a hard sell because it's a hardcover. It's got fantastic art that I appreciate. It's got a sword-wielding hero. So this one wouldn't necessarily be a hard sell. So this barely makes my criteria. There is so much stuff from Marvel and other bigger companies that I want that I probably would have just passed this by and not bought it on my own had she not gifted it to me first. So anyway, I did love this. This is Grant Morrison's reimagining of the Santa Claus story. It gives him an origin as a sword-wielding kind of a demigod hero, and I loved it. In fact, I gave it a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. As I mentioned in other videos, I do use Comic Collector software to catalog and database my whole collection, and they have a 1 to 10 scale, so that tends to be why I use 1 to 10. And so everything I read, I go ahead and give it a 1 to 10 rating, even if I don't do a review video. And my database is online if you guys want to see what I have. The link is in the description of all my videos. You can look at my entire collection. So that is a public list you can take a look at. And if I've read it, there'll be a rating. If I haven't read it yet, there won't be a rating. So I did give that one a 9. Now, at number 9, we got Gideon Falls. Now, this one isn't such a hard sell, but I probably wouldn't have got it just because I have so much other stuff to buy, I just wouldn't have done it. But she gifted it to me, and now I'm in because it's fantastic. Gideon Falls is a horror comic for sure. It's very creepy, and it's written by Jeff Lemire with art by Andrea Sorrentino. It's really good stuff. Now, unpopular opinion maybe, or maybe popular, I guess depends on who you talk to, but I think Jeff Lemire is a much better writer than he is an artist. I'm not a huge fan of his art. My daughter Kristan is. She likes both very much. But so this is a good one for me. It's really good horror tale. Jeff Lemire's excellent writing, but with some really creepy and realistic art by Andrea Sorrentino. So check that one out if you haven't. I gave that a 9 also. At number 8, I've got Upgrade Soul. Now, Kristan has spent a lot of time on her channel and others talking about Upgrade Soul. And it's one of those kind of things where it's difficult to do a review of because any little plot points you give away on this one going to screw you up, going to screw up your read. So I won't say much about it, but it is some dark sci-fi. I'll just leave it at that. This one is written and drawn by Ezra Clayton Daniels, and I gave that a 9 also on a 1 to 10 scale. Number 7 is Stumptown. Now, this one would not be a hard sell because I do like crime and noir and that sort of thing, but I probably would have just not got it because, I have so many other things to complete, so many other collections and things, and it's just been yet another thing. So I was kind of aware of it, but I put it on that back burner, which was a little risky maneuver there because some of these, the oversized hardcovers, are now out of print. But she gifted me the first one, and I went after the rest, and I completed them, and I'm glad I did because it's great. This is written by Greg Rucka with art by Matthew Southworth for the most part, the first 2 volumes anyway. And this one was fantastic for me. I had no problems with any of it. I gave it a 10 out of 10. At number 6 in the countdown of my favorite books my daughter Kristan made me read is Sentient. Another one written by Jeff Lemire that has some fantastic art in this one by Gabriel Hernandez Walta. This was a 10 out of 10 for me. Fantastic. Some really good sci-fi. Excellent story. And man, it's fantastic. Check it out. She gifted me Sentient in the form of TKO's really unusual, something I've never seen done before. It's a slipcase collection of single issues. So there's 6 comic books inside this slipcase box set thingy. So you can put it right on your shelf next to real hardcovers, and it works. Very unusual. I've never seen that done before. And the comics themselves are unusual too because they're not standard comic book size, but they're not magazine size either. They're in between. Most unusual. Now, there is a deluxe hardcover, I think, coming out for this, if it's not already out, and it's oversized. And I'm probably going to double dip and upgrade this one because it's that good. Now, number 5, halfway on the countdown, I've got Sweet Tooth. Written and drawn by Jeff Lemire. Everybody knows about Sweet Tooth. If you haven't read it already, you need to read it. It's really good. And I love it kind of despite Jeff Lemire's art, which he does a good job as far as storytelling. He's an excellent storyteller. I'm just not a huge fan of his artwork, but this book is awesome. I gave it a 9 despite Jeff Lemire drawing it. At number 4, I've got Saucer Country, Saucer State, the 2 trade paperbacks that collect that story. Excellent. This is Paul Cornell and Ryan Kelly is the team on it. I gave this a 9 despite it not having a proper ending. Now, I understand they have done an ending now, so I'm hoping there'll be a big hardcover that collects all of it, both of these trades and the ending that they've added. I'm hoping for that one. This one wouldn't have really been too hard of a sell for me either, because all that's right up my alley. So, at number 3, I've got Essex County. Now, this is Jeff Lemire writing and drawing again, and many people consider this his magnum opus because it's fantastic. It was one of his earlier works, but it is really good. Now, this one would be a hard sell for me because not only does it have black and white art by Jeff Lemire, but the story doesn't really concern anything that would interest me. I mean, there's a lot of references to hockey and a lot of family stuff going on and different dynamics and there's no supernatural elements, really, I don't think. It just, there's nothing there for me to go, oh, I gotta have that book, But she made me read it, and guess what? It's fantastic. This thing is an emotional roller coaster, and it's a masterwork of storytelling. Essex County is fantastic, and I gave that one a 9. Number 2 is another one that would have been a hard sell for me. Blankets by Craig Thompson. He did the writing and the drawing. Black and white. It's not about superheroes. It's not science fiction. It's not supernatural. None of the hallmarks of something that I would want to grab a hold of. But guess what? This thing is awesome. I mean, it's so emotional and such a terrific story. I understand parts of it are autobiographical, I guess. But this thing, for me, captured what it really is like to fall in love in comic book form. I haven't seen that done very often, and I've not seen it done any better than in this. So if you haven't read Blankets, you got to read it. Get it. I gave that one a 9. And I kind of wonder if I shouldn't have gave it a 10, but that's how I rated it when I first read it. And at number 1 on my top 10 books that my daughter made me read is Motor Girl by Terry Moore. Terry Moore did the art and the writing on this. This is a one and done graphic novel. It's fantastic. It has everything. You've got a Marine vet. She's got a 600-pound gorilla as a companion. She encounters aliens. It deals with, well, the deeper themes that it deals with, I'm not going to give away because it's a huge plot point. But it is really, let's put it this way, it's a very, very important work, way beyond the sci-fi trappings that I just outlined. It goes way beyond that, and it's a real human story, another one that's super important. And to me, it's probably an example of how the medium of comic books and of graphic novels can be elevated to high art. This book is high art, and it's super important. Everyone should read it. If you have any sort of interest in comic books whatsoever, you need to read Motor Girl. It's fantastic. And I gave that a 10. 10 out of 10 all the way, and it's number 1 on this list. So that's all I got this week. This could have easily been a top 20 because Kristan rarely misses with these things. I think the lowest rating I ever gave a book she made me read was a 7, and most of them are 8, 9s, and 10s. So yeah, this could have easily went on another 10. So maybe I'll do this again next year and we'll see how things change position. But if you haven't checked out my daughter's channel, do that. Link, as always, is in the description for her channel. And if you haven't subscribed to mine yet, please do that. And give me a thumbs up if you like this. And come on back for more. See ya.